In the heart of West Africa, nestled amongst ancient baobab trees and sprawling savannas, lay the village of Koro. For generations, Koro had thrived, its people living in harmony with the land and with each other. Their days were measured not by clocks, but by the rising and setting of the sun, and their history was not written in books, but woven into the vibrant rhythms of their most sacred treasure, the talking drum, known as the dundun. The dundun was more than just an instrument. It was the heartbeat of Koro. Its deep, resonant voice could travel for miles, carrying messages of joy, warnings of danger, and invitations to ceremonies. It spoke a language of its own, a complex tapestry of tones and beats that every villager understood from birth. But whose spirit was as strong as the river that flowed past their homes. One year, however, a shadow began to fall over Koro. The rains, which had always been so faithful, grew sparse. The once mighty river shrank to a timid stream, and the fertile earth cracked under the relentless sun. The crops withered in the fields, the yams grew small and hard, and the once plentiful herds of cattle grew thin. A great famine, silent and menacing, had crept into their lives. The laughter of children faded, replaced by the quiet ache of hunger. As the weeks turned into months, desperation took root. The village council met day and night, their faces etched with worry. Some younger villagers, led by a strong but impatient hunter named Bila, grew restless. "The old ways are failing us," Bala declared one evening, his voice echoing in the tense silence of the council hut. "We pray, we drum, but our children starve. Look to the horizon. The city glitters with lights. They have water, they have food. We must abandon Koro and seek a new life there." A murmur of agreement rippled through the younger crowd. They had heard tales of the city, a place of towering structures, endless food and opportunities their village could never offer. The allure of this modern world was a powerful siren song, promising an escape from their suffering. They began to see Koro not as a home, but as a prison of tradition. Elder Aid listened, his heart heavy. He saw the fear in their eyes and understood their pain. That night, under a sky filled with indifferent stars, he went to the sacred hut where the dundun rested. He ran his hand over its smooth, worn skin, feeling the generations of stories humming beneath his touch. He knew the drum was not just a relic of the past, it was the key to their future. He couldn't let them abandon the soul of their people. The next morning, as the sun cast long shadows across the dusty village square, Aid did something he hadn't done in years. He strapped the dundun to his shoulder and began to play. The rhythm was slow at first, a mournful beat that spoke of their hardship, of the dry earth and the hungry bellies. It was a lament that every villager felt deep in their bones. Then the rhythm shifted. Aid's hands moved with a renewed fire, his fingers dancing across the drumhead. He began to tell a story not of sorrow, but of strength. The drum spoke of their ancestors, the founders of Koro, who faced even greater challenges. It sang of a legendary drought, far worse than their own, when the first people of Koro refused to give up. The drum's voice described how they had followed the flight of a lone eagle, day after day, until it led them to a hidden spring, deep within the sleeping hills, a rocky outcrop miles away that was considered impassable. The story was one of resilience, of community, of faith in their ancestral knowledge. It was a story most of the youth had only heard in fragments, but now brought to life by the powerful voice of the dundun. It was captivating. The drum beats painted vivid pictures in their minds, the determined trek, the soaring eagle, the discovery of life-giving water. Bila and his followers stood mesmerized. They had dismissed the old tales as mere fables, but the drum made it feel real. It spoke directly to their hearts, awakening a pride they had forgotten. When Aid finished, a profound silence settled over the village. He looked at Bila, his eyes kind but firm. "The drum does not say stay and starve," Aid said, his voice raspy. "It says remember who you are. Our ancestors did not run from hardship. They faced it together. The knowledge of the past is not a chain, it is a map. The story of the Sleeping Hills is not just a tale, it is our inheritance." A spark of hope ignited in Bila's eyes. He looked at the distant, hazy outline of the sleeping hills. It was a place they had always avoided, but now it seemed like a promise. The eagle, Vila whispered, more to himself than anyone else. The drum spoke of an eagle. Inspired, Bidla gathered the strongest hunters. Instead of packing their belongings to leave for the city, they prepared for a journey. Following the drum's ancient narrative, they set out towards the sleeping hills, their determination renewed. It was a difficult climb, but they moved with a shared purpose they hadn't felt in months. Days later, a triumphant shout echoed from the hills. They had found it. Tucked away in a shaded canyon, just as the drum's story had described, was a spring. It wasn't large, but it was steady, trickling cool, clear water from the heart of the rock. It was enough. It was life. The villagers worked together, channeling the water with makeshift aqueducts made from bamboo. Slowly, miraculously, life began to return to Koro. Small patches of green appeared in the fields. The riverbed began to darken with moisture. The children's laughter, weak at first, gradually grew stronger, echoing through the village once more. The city with its glittering lights no longer seemed so alluring. They had found their salvation not by abandoning their home, but by reconnecting with its soul. The Tundun had done more than just tell a story. It had reminded them that their traditions were a source of profound wisdom and strength. It saved them not with magic, but by unlocking the resilience that was already inside them, passed down through the rhythm of generations. The talking drum of Koro once again became the village's vibrant heartbeat, its rhythms now carrying a new story, a story of how a community, on the brink of collapse, was saved by listening to the wisdom of its past. And in the center of it all was Elder Aid, smiling as he taught a new generation of children how to make the Dundun speak. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey to the village of Koro. If this story moved you, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more tales that celebrate the enduring power of culture and community. We'll see you in the next one.